Welcome to episode 88 here of Drew's Sports Crew here on this Monday morning. Myself, Drew Skyberg, bringing you the news in the sports world, as you guessed it, right? We got episode 88 here. Look, I mean, we're on that usual routine. That usual routine is coming to, an end due to the fact high school football is wrapping up here. But we have one of our final high school football playoff talks here, as next week we'll be talking. Hopefully next week when conference stuff, I believe it's out already, but they have not published all the information yet. So I do not have that to share on Wiz Sports. However, we will be talking about some all-state recognition today, along with the high school football playoffs. We'll be doing the all-region/district teams. We'll be doing that more with the conference talk, so just keep that in mind. But that is the game plan here for episode 88 in the high school world. Then we're going to go to the Milwaukee Bucks. We'll talk about how they've performed as of late. We'll talk about all the injuries that are going on, and then we'll talk about the Green Bay Packer victory yesterday over the Dallas Cowboys at Lambeau. What a great win there for the Packers. And yeah, we'll be going through all of that here in the episode. And announcement-wise, we'll talk about the schedule. Going through it, we have an episode of Drew's College Athlete Spotlight coming out Wednesday, so you can go check that out. That'll be at Wednesday morning is when you'll find that. And then also, of course, that's already on YouTube on the live stream, so you can go check that out right now. And don't forget, Drew's basketball crew will be coming your way tonight around 8 or 9 p.m. I'll be bringing you some DFS for tomorrow. And then, of course, you got episode 88 right now, and then you'll see an episode 51 of Journey to a Million will be coming your way Wednesday night is when that'll be, more of like Wednesday evening, 5:45-ish. We'll be going live around there on YouTube and Twitch, of course, at Drew Sports Crew, on the Twitch, Drew Sports Crew on YouTube, and at Drew Sports Crew on all the other social media platforms other than Facebook, again, where it's Drew's Sports Crew. So all the announcements are out of the way, and let's go to the level 4 of high school football playoffs in Division 4. And we are going to be going to Two Rivers and Catholic Memorial, that game that took place at Slinger High School on Friday, November 11th. And listen, this game started off as people thought it was, where Catholic Memorial took control. They were up 20-0 in the second quarter, thanks to a run from John Bailey that put them up 7. And then they had a run from Corey Smith that put them up 14-0. Then the quarterback, Isaiah Nathaniel, gets in on the action, 20-0 at half. Two Rivers needed something to go their way. And the third quarter, they put together their first touchdown drive of the game. It was Justin Klinkner to Austin Phillips that gets them on the board. 27 was the score then. And then Klinkner in the fourth quarter, 2014 is what the score becomes after a Klinkner to Orion Gauger touchdown there. 2014 then was the score. Memorial gets the ball back. They were able to then just take control of the clock, and that was your game. 2014 was the final. Two Rivers falls. Their first loss of the year comes at level 4, right? They finished 12-1 on this historic season for the Raiders. They put up, in their credit, right? I mean, the 20-0 score, how many teams would have gave up, right? I mean, how many teams would have felt defeated? Two Rivers did not do that. They fought back. I mean, they held their own ground. They put up, I talked about this game being, based on like the talent we see from Two Rivers, based on matchups even that both squads have. I thought this was going to be a much closer game. I know many people are predicted still, a 2-3-4 score even, defeat for Two Rivers. But look, Two Rivers held their own against a football dynasty, right? I mean, Catholic Memorial being who they are as a school for years of dominance. But, Two Rivers, they're returning a good chunk of their core for next year, right? I mean, if we're just doing an outlook here, certainly think Two Rivers, they can make their way back to level 4 next year, potentially, make their way to state, right? I mean, that's where you want to go. And again, congratulations to Two Rivers on a fantastic season. But I'm going to read through the rest of the stats. I'll tell you that. Justin Klinkner finished this game 17-26, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He played great in this game. On the rushing side, we saw Chase Mathias 21 of 110, 5.2 an attempt for him. Had himself a day. Damian Goretz then got in 2 for 12, 6 yards an attempt. Max Mathias then 2 for 10. On the receiving side, let's talk about it. It was Austin Phillips leading the way, 4 for 50. I guess with a touchdown. I guess the top receiver. We spoke here. Elijah Mott was the top one here. He led the way with 6 receptions for 74 yards. Then we had Oren Gauger again, 2 for 31 with a touchdown. And then we had Xander Pop, 2 for 24. Max Mathias, 1 for 9. On the defensive side, 2 interceptions for the Two Rivers Raiders. Oren Gauger had one with an interception. He was one of the interceptions. Chase Mathias also had an interception. Mathias had 12 solo tackles, 15 total tackles. So you combine them right with the assists, whatnot. Also had a forced fumble, had himself, the game of his life defensively. You got to throw that in there. The lone sack came from Damian Goretz. So this Memorial squad, how they were able to dominate this game. I mean, I mentioned it was going to be similar passing / rushing volumes for both squads, and it was. I mean, Two Rivers ran the ball 36 times to Catholic Memorial 33, 14 pass attempts to 26 for Two Rivers. Two Rivers outplayed, plays-wise, they had more plays than them. Want to throw that out there. Two Rivers had control of the clock, it seems, but Catholic Memorial was still able to take control early in the game. Isaiah Nathaniel, 10 for 13, 1 interception. Bennett McCormick had 1 attempt, 1 interception is what I'm seeing here. On the rushing side, it was Corey Smith. We talked about him in the preview. 13 of 90 yards there for him. 6.9 yards an attempt, 1 touchdown then on the ground for him. Josh Bailey, we mentioned, had another 1 for 15. PJ Reynolds, 9 for 39. And then Isaiah Nathaniel, 8 for 9 with a rushing touchdown as well. The receiving side was Corey Smith again, 4 for 57, 14.2 an attempt there, or I guess reception there. No receiving touchdowns for Memorial. Bennett McCormick, 2 for 57. And that was really it. Every other guy was held in check. The big thing for Catholic Memorial, they had 5 sacks on the night. Tyree Harper had 2 of the sacks. Keith Williams had 1. Matt McCloskey had 1. And then we also had Carl Peavy had another. So that's kind of the story there. No interceptions, no forced fumbles. Two Rivers didn't turn the ball over, but the 5 sacks was the difference. I don't have penalties. I would love to see the penalty numbers. Fortunately, I don't get those, but I have a feeling based on how Two Rivers outplayed them in terms of plays. It seems like they dominated the clock. I'm wondering, with penalties, how that took control of this game. But again, Two Rivers puts up a great fight here to wrap up their season. Again, congratulations to the Raiders on a historic season in the EWC. They represented the EWC very well, right? We wish them the best next year. All state-wise, was looking through the team this morning. I saw Chase Mathias made the all-state small school team. Not the honorable mention, the team. Yes, he did at linebacker. Congrats to him. I did not see any other EWC player, but I did see on the honorable mentions, I believe, I saw Klinkner at quarterback. I think there's another Two Rivers. I don't know if it was Mathias at running back. It was Chase Mathias there, but doesn't, the whole team it's a lot of other schools. It's not a lot of EWC. So I was just trying to go through finding EWC players to discuss, but in the more conference talk, we'll talk about that. Of course, we'll talk, we'll go through kind of the award predictions we had at the start. We'll see how that turns out, and be a lot of fun there in kind of the recap episode. I'll see if I can get a guest on for that, talking EWC there for football. But otherwise, right, Catholic Memorial, I can tell you who they're playing at state if they got it in here. They do not have the upcoming game in yet, but Two Rivers or Catholic Memorial making the state game for level 4. Again, they moved to 13-0 here on the year. They average 42 points a game still. So you just tip your cap right to Catholic Memorial. Move on here for Two Rivers, right? But that'll wrap it up here for the high school football talk. We want to thank, of course, WISports WSN for all your high school sports needs. Go check them out. Their link is down below. And again, special thanks to WSN here for football, high school stuff. Let's go to the world of basketball now. The Milwaukee Bucks, I predicted. Feels like I predicted them to go 3-0 every week now because, I was doing 2-1, 2-1, 3-1, and they kept winning. So I was like, all right, let's go to 3-0 based if the matchups are there. And last week, we got hit with a little bit of load management, right? Giannis was out. Holiday was out. Middleton's still out. So we saw that. We saw double overtime still winning against OKC. Javon Carter, have yourself a day. 36 points, 12 assists on that Wednesday game. You lose that one in Atlanta, which, many thought, like, if there's their first loss, it was going to be that game, right? I had a feeling about that as well. San Antonio Friday night. That was, I'll be honest, that game tough to watch, right? Javon Carter being your leading scorer again. Not a lot of guys playing in that game, so it kind of felt it's one of those load management regular season games, like tough one to watch, right? But we got a Monday night one now. Looking ahead this week, I went 3-0. I said they got to go 3-0. They got a game against Atlanta at home, so it's like okay. 7:00 game. Third time against Atlanta. Giannis playing. Hopefully, and I like their chances here at home, of course. And then Wednesday we get Cleveland. Cleveland coming in, scoring a lot. Right, great offensive squad there. Garland puts up 51 yesterday. I'm wondering how this game will go. I do think the game they'll lose is at Philly on Friday on ESPN. They beat Philly out there earlier in the year, 90-88. But I know Harden's out, but Embiid, man, playing crazy. He has been doing Joel Embiid things. Had an insane stat line yesterday that was unheard of. It was video game like. But that game's at 6:30 at Friday. On that game, ESPN, you'll find that. Wednesday is a home game, 7:00 against the Cavaliers. I'm hoping. Part of me thinks it says 2-1, but I went 3-0. I'm like, I like it. Next week though, we got 3 home games. I'm not gonna get too far ahead of myself, but we have a nice stretch of home games after the Philadelphia game from November 21st to November 27th. We have 4 home games in a row there. Love to see that. And then we get a little streak on the road, but that's kind of the Bucks talk. Pretty brief. Chris Middleton will be back soon. He's been practicing. Soon, hopefully comes very soon. We want Chris Middleton out there. Let me see if I got any update on that. Yeah, nothing really yet, but I'd imagine at the end of this week, we could start seeing him in action. I think that's kind of like the perceived thought. I don't know about Pat Connaughton though. He might be longer based on what I've understood, but just keeping that in mind. Regarding the Bucks, though, I didn't really have much else other than that. We have a whole Packer game we gotta talk about. This is gonna probably be we got a shorter episode as one high school game to talk about. 1 week of Bucks, 1 week of Packers. Not much there, but this Packer game, if you are a Packer fan, yesterday was a day full of celebration because, look, the defense is depleted, right? You're down 3 starters yesterday, right? 2 of them probably out for the year, and Stokes and Gary and Campbell being out, but you fight the game. You fight 0-0 end of 1, and you're like, okay, we have a shot against this 6-2 Cowboy squad at the time, and you get 2 interceptions off of Dak Prescott, right? Credit where credit is due for Rudy Ford, right? Had himself an absolute game here, and just overall, they put up they played an awesome game. Going through the play-by-play, right? The scoring plays. Dallas gets on the board first, right? CeeDee Lamb has that passing touchdown. And then we see a 58-yard bomb from Aaron Rodgers to Christian Watson. Yeah, Christian Watson gets in on the action there. 7-7 was your score. Aaron Jones, of course, scores. It always seems like he scores in a home game. 12-yard run for him at 14-7. Packers go up. Dalton Schultz, a 5-yard touchdown pass then. And the score then goes 14-14. We're at halftime then. Then we go Tony Pollard in the third quarter, gets that 13-yard run. 21-14 is the score. CeeDee Lamb then gets in. It's 28-14. Packer fans are getting pretty upset. Then you guessed in the fourth quarter, 2 more touchdowns come from Christian Watson. Yeah, look, Christian Watson still, fundamentals, you could tell he's a rookie. I mean, just watching him play football, you can see the rookie mistakes. You can see on the receiving side, just some simple things in terms of route running, after the catch, going for the catch even. There's some plays, and even just like some fundamental things. But if he's healthy, I mean, the athleticism, it's evident. I mean, he is the most athletically talented player on this Packers squad in turn, like for receivers, for this whole offense, I'd say. I mean, Romeo Doubs has been a nice, like, solid kind of guy when he's been out there, but like I'm telling you, Watson from a talent perspective I think it's not even close. I mean, what Watson brings from the talent perspective is undoubtedly like just there, and he puts out 2 touchdowns there in the fourth quarter. They go up, they tie the game 28-28. Interesting then, right? Packers get the ball back. Matt LaFleur opts to, I'm not going to say stall, but, no urgency. I mean, no sense of urgency, not wanting to run the ball to get in field goal range, and the game there. They don't do that. But it ended up being just fine because overtime, you lose the coin toss. I was like, oh my goodness, this is it. And then you're able to put up a stop there. Mike McCarthy opts to go for it. Yeah, I mean, I thought that was a terrible play call. They don't get it, and then we see the headset go to the ground enraged, and many have saw that. It's a viral clip now, and then Rodgers marches them down the field. They get to field goal range. Lazard has a big play, gets them set up. Rodgers takes that kneel to center the football, and a 28-yard field goal seals it. Packers get a much-needed win at home. They move to 3-2 at home, as surprising as that might sound, and they move to 4-6 at the playoff hunt, though. You might be like, okay, well, cool, 4-6. Surprisingly, everyone, good news is they're really not out of the playoffs. I mean, they're really not out of the hunt. They have tiebreakers over Atlanta and Arizona. Remember, 7 make the playoffs, and they are number 9 right now. The thing is, Washington owns the tiebreaker over them, head-to-head, right? And then San Francisco, I believe we go division then, and San Francisco being 3-0 in the division, Packers being 1-2. You got to beat out San Francisco, or Dallas even. Dallas losing 6 there. Packers like 2.5 games back of Dallas, I believe, is what I'm seeing. They own the tiebreaker over Dallas. I think it's either the tiebreakers the head-to-head, or it's strength of victory, or it's or no, it might be win percentage in conference games. There's multiple things. I'm not sure which ones override each other, but I thought it was still head-to-head. But just want to point that out. You got to go through Dallas, San Francisco, though. You got to beat those 2 squads, probably. Really, for the Packers, I mean, really need San Francisco to lose on Sunday night. I don't know. I mean, that was a game I was like, come on, 49ers, you got to lose this one. They end up winning. Instead of going to 4-5, they go to 5-4, which hurts the Packers a lot, actually. So, I mean, if Dallas can lose some games here, if they play like they did yesterday, I mean, they're gonna have no problem losing some more games. Is personally what I saw. The Commanders, again, I imagine they're gonna fizzle out. Right, they play the Philadelphia tonight. I do think they can win this game though, but rest of the season though, I don't see this Commanders team right competing. So I think Packers will be able to fit themselves up and. I expect I don't know what happened there. Video went gone. We're back on. Okay, the video. If you're watching the stream, just the video was off on the stream for a quick second there. Not sure what happened, but we are all good now. Basically, what I'm talking about is, we need the Packers to win. I think in the NFC, barring any insane tiebreaker, I think, well, obviously a 10-7 record gets them in my opinion. I'm debating, I think 9-8, so they have to go 5-2 the rest of their last 7 here. Is 5-2 good enough for the playoffs for them? They don't have the tiebreakers really over some of these teams, but 9-8 could be good enough. I mean, 9-8 is going to involve winning some of those tiebreakers, so keep that in mind. And I don't think 8-9, they would have to have all the tiebreakers, which they don't have. So I think 9-8 and 10-7 are the records that you need. They could still theoretically go 11-6 if they win out. So I think there's 3 outcomes. You want 9-8, 10-7, or 11-6. That will get you to the playoffs. My opinion, anything lower than that will not. So that's kind of the outlook for the Packers. And then we have a Thursday night game coming up here against the Titans. Titans are 6-3. They are the 3 seed in the AFC, and Packers are favored again that game. Look, it's at Lambeau. So the good news is they have something going their way where it's at Lambeau. Bad news is it's against Derrick Henry and the Titans. And a Titans defense is a little banged up right now, but again, it's a Mike Vrabel defense where we've seen them still statistically put up great numbers. And yeah, Packers are tough on quarterbacks. I've been talking about this. Packers defense is very good against quarterbacks. Ryan Tannehill not being a great quarterback. Who knows? We've seen this Titans team. They went on a little win streak, a nice 5-game win streak. They lose then to the Chiefs. They beat the Broncos 17-10. They played a lot of close games. They beat the Commanders 21-17. They beat the Colts twice. They beat the Raiders. They lost to the Giants and Bills. So, they lost to the Bills 41-7. Thursday night, right? Things can happen. They're without Treylon Burks, right? I mean, just going through some of the things. We can certainly see this, go well. I mean, Derrick Henry already has 923 rushing yards, but from a passing yard standpoint, they're 31st. Rushing, they're 9th. So usually that's a recipe to beat the Packers, as we know. But I feel like, pass defense, we could see some good stuff going on here. And we got to hope the Packer Packer defense can contain this Titan rushing attack. So that's kind of the outlook there. And yeah, I mean, hoping for a Packer W. We'll be watching Thursday night. It's on Amazon. So, if you love that, hate that, whatever, it's on Amazon. That's how it is. But that is going to wrap it up here on this Monday. Again, I said it was going to be a little quick because not much to talk about, but we'll definitely have more for you next week with, of course, some conference, talk. Hopefully basketball practice started for high school today. We're gonna be covering basketball in some way here on the podcast. Not exactly sure on logistics on how so. It's probably going to be a part of the Monday episodes, just how football was. If that's kind of the game plan. I'd like to approach not the weekly breakdowns we saw last year. Just tie it all together here on Monday. But episode 88 here is wrapping up, and again, at Drew Sports Crew, the social medias. Find me all, or find podcast all on there. Right, that's where you'll see it all. And again, that'll wrap it up for myself, Drew Skyberg, signing off here on this Monday morning. Thank you all for listening to another episode of Drew's Sports Crew, the perfect podcast for you.